What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome to another episode of the iherng podcast, and today we will read a question from Instagram. Right, so this is from Kit. Hi iherng, I'm Kit, a student from UM studying real estate. Hey my junior, have been following your channel and even use your content as reference for my research. I have some questions here and hope you are able to solve it. Shop lot investment. Number 1, is there any difference in rental for ground floor and all floors above? And usually in Malaysia, what would be the difference in rental percentage and maybe why does it affect the differences? Number 2, is there any difference in rental for corner lots and intermediate? And usually in Malaysia, what would be the difference in rental percentage and maybe why does it affect the differences? Hope you would be able to answer it. Thank you a lot in advance. Okay, first of all, thank you for the question or even thinking me as your reference lah. I'm not sure whether my videos can be used as reference or not. Not sure your lecturer will accept or not. But anyway, so it's pretty direct. Difference in ground floor and all floors generally is around 70%, 20%, 10%. If it's a 3-story shop lot lah. So 70%, 20%, 10%. And in KL and in JB, the way they rent out is actually different because it's also depending on whether the units are actually stratified, which means in one individual title, it consists of 4 stories straight. And in some, it's a 4-story building, but there's 4 titles. It means you can separately own the floors, and that will also have a difference. So that's one of the factors also. It means that do you need to own up straight away 4 stories, one go, which is like 10 million, 20 million, or you can actually just buy the ground floor, or you actually just buy the first floor or the second floor or the third floor individually. That will also affect the rental a little bit. Number 2 is the frontage. The only reason why you would want a shop office, right? That's why last time shop offices used to be called shop houses. Cool fact. Because people usually stay upstairs and they operate a shop downstairs. That's why it's called shop houses. Unfortunately, it was abused, the term houses. Hence, they use housing loan to actually buy shop houses back then. That's why now the official term becomes shop offices. And you look commonly in hot places such as like maybe SS15 or you go to SS2, places with higher popularity where you have more footfall. Generally downstairs are used as a shop front, may it be F&B or electrical appliances and things like that, because the ease to access straight away, right? Malaysians being Malaysians, we are just so spoiled when it comes to frontage. We seriously want to just park right in front of the shop, right, and just walk in. That's the best. So that's why double parking is an issue and also an culture in Malaysia lah. Because of that purpose also, it serves different rental. And the reason why for second floors, third floors, right, on shop offices, it's pretty much cheaper in terms of rental. It's because the experience of going upstairs. There's a hassle of climbing that stairs, and usually that stairs, right, number 1, it's small. Right, it's very eerie, then it's not ventilated, then it's dark. So the experience upwards is not pleasant. So I think the first floor still somewhat can become a dessert storefront or an appointment basis. So like dentists usually put upstairs. Like doctors, right, clinics usually put downstairs, and that's a reason why. Then you can see the first floor and the second floor usually are for tuition centers where kids, they can still have the energy to go up, right? So that's also part of the tenants that will actually take up second floor. And usually the saying is this: the worst type of product will be a 4-story shop lot, because the highest, right, always nobody wants the highest floor on a shop lot one. That's why it always end up being a lodging for workers. That's why you can see it like a worker quarters, or some places they convert it into student accommodation, for example SS15 and etc. So in your research, I think the main 3 reasons in my opinion just off of my head, right? Number 1 is the ownership type. Number 2 is the location, where it determines if you are in SS2, surely it will be F&B based, upstairs also dessert, then only you have hairstylist, appointment basis, or even banks, right, that rents downstairs. So the usage is way more. But if you go into a shop office area where it's very quiet, no people, so it becomes like a warehouse, and generally the second floor or third floor become offices for consultants like engineer office or some event company office and things like that. And third of all would actually be the type of shop offices. It means that is it a 4-story shop office or is it a double-story shop office, because that will affect the windows on second floor. If you were to build shop offices, you can see that the windows generally is only in the front and the back. So if it's 2-story, right, the second floor will actually have bigger chance or higher chance to actually have a higher and bigger window opening in comparison to a 4-story one, because cost matters. For question number 2, right, what is usually the difference in rental for corner lot and intermediate, and why does it affect the differences, right? The main difference is size, number 1. Because if you look into shop offices design, commercial lots, right, if you go into any sales gallery and check out whether got commercial lots or not, you will see corner lots are usually bigger, right? Because the usage of corner lot, right, generally is at banks, fast food joints, F&Bs, and that's about it. So these are tenants where they really need footfall, they can afford higher rental. And that's number 1, size, because corner lot usually is like 25-70 or 26-70, but then the intermediate can be like 22 feet by 70 feet only. So that can be the difference, and it's designed that way. All new shop lots are designed that way. That's why the corner lot in terms of price, right, will always be the most premium, but then it will always be cleared out first. Then intermediate also depends on which intermediate, because if you look into the layout of shop offices, generally the one in the center is always the cheapest. It means, right, from a corner lot to an end lot, number 1 most expensive would be the corner lot here. Then number 2 will be the end lot and this side, just because you have extra frontage, which is convenient if you're operating a F&B outlet, so you have more ventilation and more space for your back of house, right? So number 3 will be the closer to your corner and end lot, right? Those will be higher price than the one in the center, just because of frontage. Usually when you go to a place, right, you will remember the first thing and the last thing. So that happens when you actually browse through a shop office area as well. Then the third thing, the main reason why people want to pay more is frontage. So the first thing when you go into a place, right, is frontage. So frontage. And now mama, I missed out mama. If you look into kayu, nasi kanda, whatsoever, right, all takes up corner lots, right, because the footfall is a lot and they need that open space as well. So usually it's not that legal, but then they just open up everywhere, right? So everywhere table and stuff like that. By the way, in MCO, right, when's the last time you went mama? So to just sum question number 2, right, rental can be a lot of difference, and the rental can be easy like 10,000 for corner, 12,000 for corner, but intermediate is like 6,000. It can be one time extra just because you have the extra size, the extra ventilation and extra orientation and the frontage, all this combo together lah. Okay, so I guess that's about it, right? It's a pretty direct session, and thank you very much for sending this on Instagram. I hope my reply helped. Right, it's not as precise, but these are just mine out of my head lah. Thank you very much, Kit. And for any other questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just Instagram DM me. I will just reply as much as possible. That's all for today. Thank you very much, and see you guys on the next one. Ciao.